Hey, what is up, Dynasty owners? It is your boy, Jay Pounds. We got another weekly video for you guys. Don't forget to check out the article, www.dynastyowner.com. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, all of that good stuff that we go over every week. It really helps Dynasty Owner out. And as you know, we want Dynasty Owner to grow into one of the main fantasy football platforms. I think it should be. We had a writers league draft a few hours ago, and it caught some people by surprise in it. And it's a tough format. It really is. If you're a new member watching this, I highly encourage you to get involved. Everybody in the Dynasty owner community has a solid sense of fantasy football. You're not going to run into somebody that's drafting the Eagles defense in the third round or something, something like that, or just stupid stuff. You're not going to find any of them types of guys here on Dynasty Owner at all. So it's every league's a challenge. Every league is competitive, but the league I put it together today. It's mainly analysts. There's a few non-analysts in there, but I think most of them, or almost all of them, that aren't analysts are aspiring to be at least. So they have solid knowledge of the game. But it was a very fun draft. I got sniped so many times. I may end up doing an article on it. I don't know yet. We'll see what happens after next week. Next week I got a little bit of a special surprise for you guys. One of our Dynasty owners on Twitter reached out about his rebuild, and he is very early on in his rebuild. But he has it going in the right direction. I really love the strategy he's taken with the strategy he's done with his rebuild so far, and I like the future he's got planned. It's honestly a good strategy. I'm not going to get into much to it. I'll let him talk about it. And there's a couple things in there I haven't discussed yet, and one of them I really like the idea of going into what he does. It's definitely something that could help. It's hard predicting what's going to happen in the NFL. It's a very random game sometimes, it seems like, but you still got to have a stable approach to things, and I think you guys will like his take on how he is rebuilding his team. But nonetheless, guys, let's go ahead and get right into things. We got the buy sell hold excuse me, for the NFC East, or the NFC least, whichever you want to call it. It's probably the worst division in football. But as a rebuilding owner, that's a division you guys want to look at. They're going to be churning out players a lot. Roster spots don't tend to stick on bad teams. They tend to cycle through players and try to find those hidden gems, just like we are as fantasy owners. So that's just something to keep in mind. Try to pay a little extra attention to this division, and you might find a gem in the rough. You never know, or a diamond in the rough. I said that wrong. All right, guys, let me go ahead and share my screen. We'll pull this off of here. Hit that. As always, we'll do the half and half. Before we get into it, there are a couple things I want to talk about with what's going on in preseason and things like that. Sony Michelle was traded to the Rams. I'm sure you guys all know that. Sean McVay came out and said that it's just a depth move. It's nothing to worry about with Darrell Henderson. He's still going to get a ton of work, and he probably is, but it's more than a depth move. They gave up a decent amount to get him, especially for what running backs go for nowadays. You can get solid running backs on the free agent market at basically any time. So I feel like he's definitely going to be part of the offense more than McVay's leading on, but it's going to take a little bit. We start the season here in let's see, 13 days or something like that. I'm not sure from the time the video gets released. That I'm trying to do quick math here and it's not working. But it just it's coach talk right now, and I feel he's leading you down the wrong path with that one. After that, we got Trey Lance working out with Jimmy Garoppolo sharing first team reps. He's going to be starting in that offense sooner than later. And then you got Dak Prescott, Odell Beckham, and Saquon Barkley all participating in drills, which is a very positive sign for the three of them to get back to work. All right, guys, we'll go ahead and get right into it. We got the buys. We're going to start with the buy category. The buy category, remember, this is all looked at through a rebuilding owner's eyes. You know, buy category is players you want to either buy to stash, buy to build around, you know, things like that. All right, we got Jarrett Patterson, the old, I like to call him Mighty Mouse. He's going to get the little Darren Sproles type role. He's probably not going to be a workhorse back, though he was in college and he proved everybody wrong there. So it wouldn't surprise me at some point in his career if he gets a shot to do it and he succeeds. But he is definitely somebody that's worth stashing at 3 years, 820,000. I've got him in a couple spots on my dynasty owner teams. Really, to be honest, guys, I'm starting to filter out. I've got a couple league with my dad, one with my dad and my son, and then one with some close friends. And it's other than that, I've kind of cycled away from fantasy football just regularly. I'm all in on Dynasty Owner. I love this platform. It is so much fun. The draft we did today, man, it was fun. I've never been sniped like that in my life. I probably got sniped more times tonight than I ever have in my career, to be honest. Dirty Hippie Farmer, if you watch these videos, you sniped the living crap out of me today. You got a solid team. I'm looking forward to the league, guys. But let's go ahead and keep going here. We got Terry McLaurin, 2 years, 961,000. He is, if not my second favorite value in 2021 for Dynasty Owner. James Robinson's the other one. We're not going to talk about him today, obviously, because he doesn't play in this division. But Terry McLaurin is an absolute must-have on your roster if you can get him, and it's not costing you an arm and a leg. Right now, it's going to be hard to get rid of him hard to buy him at his salary, to be honest. If you can do it because it's a fantastic building block over the next 2 seasons. You got a stud for a receiver, and you don't have to worry about his contract right now. So it just gives you a little bit of flexibility to maybe take on a bad contract to get a good player back. You know, those are the types of things you got to do when you're rebuilding. After that, we got Dyami Brown. I hope I'm saying his name right. 4 years, $1.2 million. Right now, the third guy in Washington is Adam Humphries. I don't think that's going to stick. I think Brown, he might not start the season, but before the season's over, he is going to be the number 3 guy over Adam Humphries. It's just a matter of time. And I love Dyami Brown. I don't have any shares of him yet, and it sucks, but I'll find a way to get my hands on him at some point somewhere. I should have drafted him tonight, but once again, he got sniped. It was crazy. I keep going back to the draft, but I'd have a queue. You know, there'd be 4 picks in front of me, and I'd have at least 3 guys, sometimes 4 guys queued up, and every single one of them would go. It'd just be bam, 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 bam. Oh, it was frustrating but funny at the same time. It made it for a really, really great draft once it was over, honestly, and I'm still very happy with my team. After that, we got the Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts. He is a hot topic around the fantasy community. His completion percentage is scaring people, and it scares me, to be honest. I don't know if he's the long-term answer there. He's definitely going to get probably a 2-year run there at minimum. You know, if he grows as a passer and stays healthy and continues to develop as a runner, maybe he is the long-term answer. But right now, I'm looking at him as kind of a 2-year option, and I think you guys should be too. But you can buy him right now, and then if he does start to go, you can make that, or to develop, you can make that decision whether you want to keep him or maybe you trade him. You know, do you want to pay Jalen Hurts top dollar or not? And if he doesn't look like he's starting to develop, you can still move off of him for a very significant return at his salary and as a starting quarterback. Just don't wait too long. Basically, that's all you got to worry about there. Don't wait too long. After that, we got Kenneth Gainwell, 4 years, just under $1 million. Gainwell, I don't ever see him being a full-time starter. I just don't think he's got the frame for it. He's not a workhorse back, but he is going to be a productive fantasy back if he can. We'll see. We'll know a lot this year. If he can beat out Boston Scott in his rookie year, he's going to have a solid NFL career, in my opinion. If he doesn't beat out Boston Scott, we'll see. It might be tough for him to be a consistent fantasy producer. After that, we got the Slim Reaper, Devonta Smith, 4 years, $5 million. I love Devonta Smith. I wish he had a little bit more weight on him. It's so scary looking at his legs and knowing some of the guys that are going to be tackling this kid. But he is so talented. He's so fast. He runs great routes. He's just great at everything, it seems like. And he's got a wonderful work ethic. I'm very excited to see this kid. If you can get your hands on him, do it. After that, we got Jalen Rager, 3 years, $3.3 million. The drafting of Devonta Smith or Rager, yes, but that also makes him a good buy because he's going to come a little bit cheaper, and he's not going to see the top corner from the other team anymore. It's going to be Devonta Smith no matter what. Jalen Rager just isn't as talented as Devonta Smith is. So I'm buying Jalen Rager. It's definitely a possibility that he blossoms a little bit this year. I don't expect him to be a top 10 wide receiver, even a top 20 wide receiver at that. But he could sneak into the wide receiver 3 range if he realizes potential. He's another one of the guys that got sniped today. After that, we got Quez Watkins. 3 years, $866,000. He's one of the hot sleepers right now, and understandably so. He's had a solid preseason and training camp, and he's a great lottery ticket to have right now. If you can pick him up for a third rounder and you like him, I would do it, honestly. After that, we got Dallas Goedert, 1 year, $1.4 million. This is probably your last opportunity to buy Goedert cheap. Once Ertz is out of Philly, you're not getting Goedert cheap at all. He is going to blow up. He is going to be expensive, and he's probably going to be in that second tier of tight ends once Ertz leaves. So right now, if you're rebuilding, now is the time to go out and get Dallas Goedert if you believe in him, and you better do it quickly because I don't see Ertz being there long. I don't know I don't know why he's still there, to be honest. They need to get something out of him because he ain't going to stay. After that, we got the New York Giants. Darius Slayton, 2 years, $688,000. I haven't heard this name in a while, have you? He had a disappointing year last year, but he's shown and proven that he can be talented on an NFL field, and he can produce on an NFL field. And those are the kind of guys I like to have on my roster. He may not do anything this year. Maybe he gets traded. Maybe he gets traded next year. You got to be patient with him, but he has the talent to succeed. And he should get another chance somewhere. After that, we got John Ross, 1 year, $2.2 million. He's a little bit of an expensive lottery ticket, but John Ross is extremely talented. I used to love staying up watching John Ross burn Pac-12 defenses with the Washington Huskies. He was so much fun to watch there. That whole team was fun to watch, to be honest. But he just hasn't done anything in the NFL, and you can't let your heart get in the way of these things, But I hope John Ross succeeds, and maybe that's why I have him as a buy. After that, we got Cadarius Tony, 4 years, $3.4 million. Cadarius Tony is probably going to be a bust. That's just how I feel about him, but I'm still buying him. He's got first-round capital. They're going to give him every chance in the world to succeed, and that's the type of guy you want on your roster. After that, we got Dallas Cowboys. Tony Pollard, 2 years, $800,000. Tony Pollard is the perfect running back for a rebuilding roster, just as I mentioned with Javonte Williams a few weeks back. Pollard is very lightly used. He's not going to be the featured back, and until you're basically ready to compete, he might be the featured back a year too early, but that's all right. He'll still be producing at a high level when you're ready to compete for championships. And that's what you want if you're going to target a running back early in your rebuild. running backs are kind of for a little bit later in your rebuild. There are ways around it, but I prefer not to do that. That's just how I am. I've done it before and succeeded before, but I just feel like you're a lot less likely to succeed building around running backs first versus the other positions. After that, CeeDee Lamb, 3 years, $3.5 million. He is a extremely hot commodity right now. I would not blame you if you sold CeeDee Lamb. If you are a rebuilding owner and you want to get 4 first round picks for him, I don't blame you, because somebody might do it. There are people that are unbelievably high on him, and I get it. I do. I really like CeeDee Lamb. He's going to be a very, very good receiver for a very long time. The Nuke Hopkins comparison comes up all the time, and I see it. But man, he's going for a ton right now, and that could really, really jumpstart your rebuild and solidify it, to be honest. After that, we got Michael Gallup, 1 year, $880,000. Michael Gallup is an excellent player to have on your rebuilding roster. Same thing, he's going to come cheap. He is not going to get a ton of work this year just because he's got 2 studs in front of him in Lamb and Cooper. But after that, this year, he could be the number 1 guy somewhere, and what more could you ask for a cheap wide receiver this year? After that, we got Blake Jarwin, 3 years, $5.5 million. He's more of a lottery ticket, but he is going to be on the field. I just want to buy him and kind of sell him as soon as he does good. I just don't feel great about him, but if he gets more playing time, his value will keep increasing. So don't sell him too early. I gotta re-say that he is a buy right now. You want to buy him and then sell him once he starts producing, because you can get him cheap right now, but if he starts producing, you'll be able to sell him for significantly more, and at worst, you can get your 3rd round pick back for him. After that, we got the sells. We're moving on to the Washington football team sell. We got Ryan Fitzpatrick, 1 year, $10 million. This guy thinks he can grow a better beard than I can, and I'm here to tell him he can't. You guys need to trade Ryan Fitzpatrick before he shaves his beard and forgets how to play football. I wrote it in the article, as you can see there. I'm saying it here. Get rid of Fitzmagic before he shaves his beard. After that, we got Antonio Gibson, 3 years, $1.2 million. This is Matt the Jerk. It's his favorite value in all of Dynasty Owner this year. It might be Steve's. I know he said he couldn't disagree with it. I don't know necessarily if that means that is his, but I can't disagree either. I do like James Robinson and Terry McLaurin, his teammate. Man, they got some very friendly contracts there. But I like them two a little bit better. Gibson's definitely top 5 for me, but I just can't get. I don't think I can get to 1 when his teammate McLaurin's sitting there in a PPR league. That's just the way I'm looking at it. I could be wrong though. Again, Antonio Gibson's extremely talented. I have him on my rebuilding team. I'm competing now, but the sky's the limit for this kid, to be honest. I don't even have a fair comparison for him. He came out of absolutely nowhere, and now he's going to be, a top 5 running back annually. It seems like, after maybe not this coming year, but the year after that, and moving forward, he'll be in the top 5 conversation every year. After that, we got J.D. McKissick, 1 year, $1.6 million. He was a great receiving threat last year. He played very well. I'm trading him right now. The only way, if you're a gambler, you can hold him and maybe an injury happens and his value skyrockets, but I'm just trading him. I think he's going to take a little bit more of a backseat to Antonio Gibson this year, and that just doesn't bode well for McKissick. Up next, we have Logan Thomas, 1 year, $3 million basically. Tim Tebow tried to do the Logan Thomas and failed miserably. Thomas was a quarterback. He turned tight end, and he did very well at it. This is my tight end 1 on the team I drafted. I I wanted Kittle so bad, and he got sniped. That was the worst snipe of the night for me. But ended up getting Logan Thomas. I like him a lot, just not for a rebuilding owner. I don't see him lasting having a huge future or anything like that at the position, but I can see a nice few year run out of him. After that, we got the Philadelphia Eagles. Miles Sanders, 4 years, $1.3 million. I am such a Miles Sanders truther. It's pitiful, to be honest. And the drafting of Kenneth Gainwell sucks. It really does. I'm not an Eagles fan or anything. I'm not even a Penn State fan. I don't know why I like Miles Sanders so much. I just do. I watched the tape of him coming out of college, and he just reminded me of Saquon Barkley for some reason, and he just hasn't quite lived up to it. He hasn't been bad, but he hasn't quite lived up to it. Now Gainwell coming in, Jalen Hurts is going to cut into it. I think it's just time to get rid of this guy before the value completely falls off out of him. Jordan Howard, 1 year, $1 million. If you can sell Jordan Howard, we're going to start a business together. Next, Saquon Barkley, 1 year, $7.7 million. Saquon's a premier talent at the running back position. He's just a lose-lose situation for rebuilding owners. If you're contending, I love Saquon Barkley, but as a rebuilding owner, he just scares me. The two things can happen. He can play well this year and play his way into a very nice contract north of what Aaron Jones just got at $12 million, or he can get hurt again and now he doesn't have any trade value. It's not going to work out. And then even if he does get a new contract, he might get hurt the year after. He hasn't shown that he can stay healthy, and that's just not something you want on your rebuilding roster. After that, we got Kenny Gallaudet, 4 years, $18 million. I tried trading Kenny Gallaudet this offseason, right when he got signed with the Giants. It was right when he signed with them, and the best I could get was a middle of the road second round pick. It did turn into Rashad Bateman, thankfully, but it's tough to sell these big contracts, and I think you guys will find that out when you get rid of Kenny Gallaudet, but he is somebody you shouldn't have on your rebuilding roster at this point. After that, Sterling Shepard, 3 years, $10.2 million. Same thing. I don't think you're going to be able to sell Sterling Shepard. If you can, you might be able to get a third round pick. He's a very consistent player when he's on the field. He's consistently in double digits. He's not going to get you a ton of points, but he'll get you 10 every week, it seems like. Maybe use that and try to move him, but I just don't see it happening. After that, Evan Ingram, 1 year, $6 million. He's a very talented tight end, but this might be the last year he's a starting tight end. I highly doubt it is. He'll probably get the job somewhere else. He may even be back with the Giants next year. But it's just not somebody I want around on my rebuilding teams. He's another tight end I drafted. I got him and Logan Thomas. I love the talent, but I just don't like the player on a rebuilding team. After that, we got the Dallas Cowboys sell. Dak Prescott, 4 years, $40 million. Good luck trading this contract. It's going to be near impossible. Though, I did trade for it after he signed it this past offseason. Amari Cooper, 4 years, $20 million. Same thing. He's going to be very tough to sell, but you should be able to. He's rostered in majority of leagues, so you should be able to sell it. It's just going to take a couple bad contracts coming back to you in return, but make them pay for you taking on them bad contracts. They're getting a lot of production out of Amari Cooper. Yes, they're paying him $20 million, but you're eating a lot of bad salary so they can fit that $20 million on their contract. Teams do it all the time in the NFL. You can do it too when you're rebuilding it. It'll speed it up. After that, we got the holds, the last category, guys. We got Washington football team. I'm going to try to get through these quickly because we're already at 25 minutes. Taylor Heineke, 2 years, $2.3 million. He's a beautiful guy. He's a beautiful prospect to have as a rebuilding owner. Ryan Fitzpatrick has had a spotty career at best. Yes, he has looked good the last couple years, but you never know with Fitzmagic. Like I said, he's going to shave his beard and fall off, so you want to have Taylor Heineke. Don't go buy him or nothing like that. I mean, you could, I guess, if you really want to, but if you got him, hold him because there's probably going to come a time where he starts this season. Adam Humphries, 1 year, 1.1 million. Just hold on to him to see if he can beat Dyami Brown out. Right now, he's technically listed as the starter, but I think Dyami Brown ends up beating him out sooner rather than later. But who knows? Maybe Humphries shows out and balls out. You never know. Curtis Samuel, 3 years, 11.5 million. He's another player I got on my team this in the draft tonight. Curtis Samuel he came on in a big way last year. He is a very talented kid. He can do a lot of different things very well, and he's somebody that I think you should hold on to and see what happens in Washington because I think he's going to blow up. After that, we got Cam Sims, 1 year, 2.1 million. Typical lottery ticket, stash on your roster. Philadelphia Eagles, Joe Flacco, 1 year, 3.5 million. Joe Flacco is just somebody that you can hold on to if you don't believe in Jalen Hurts. Basically, that's the only reason he's on here. Boston Scott, 1 year, 900,000. Same thing, kind of. You just hold on to him and see what happens with Kenneth Gainwell. Just like Flacco with Hurts, but instead now it's Boston Scott with Gainwell. If Scott doesn't beat out Gainwell, he's getting cut. Plain and simple. They're too redundant to keep on the same team, in my opinion. So Scott's got to beat him out. The only way they stay on the same team is if it's because they believe in Gainwell for the future, but Scott's better right now. After that, Greg Ward, 1 year, 850,000. Philadelphia seems to love Greg Ward for some reason. He's been on their roster for what seems like 10 years now, and it seems like he plays every game, but he just never does much. But maybe this is the year for him. Hold on to him and see if you got him. After that, Travis Fulgham, 1 year, 700,000. He is a one-hit wonder, but somebody that's very talented. He's proven he can do it. Just basically hold on to Fulgham and see if he gets his chance this year. Zach Ertz, 1 year, 8.5 million. A couple years ago, Zach Ertz was one of the premier tight ends in all of football, and now you can find him on the free agent auction board. It's crazy how far he's fallen, but hold on to him because if he gets traded, his value is gonna get a significant boost, and then if after he gets traded, if he plays well, the sky's the limit for your trade value there. Tight end position is ugly, guys. After that, we got the New York Giants, Devonte Booker, 2 years, 2.7 million. Devonte Booker is a hold because Barkley's health is in question. He's coming off of an injury. You don't know what's going to happen there. Hold on to Devonte Booker. He could be a gold mine if Barkley were to go down. Daniel Jones, 2 years, 6.4 million. I'm a little higher on Daniel Jones than I should be. Found that one out tonight in the draft. I drafted Bridgewater as Daniel Jones insurance, and everybody's like, no, you mean Daniel Jones is Bridgewater insurance. I was like, okay, I guess I'm too high on him. I liked his rookie season. He set the touchdown record or tied it. I can't remember which, but he just looked promising. Yeah, he turns the ball over too much, but it's somebody, maybe hold on to him and maybe Gallaudet gives him an Allen bump, like Diggs did for Allen. I'm not saying he's going to be the next Josh Allen, but maybe he takes a significant bump forward and becomes an average, serviceable quarterback. After that, we got Caden Smith, 2 years, 680,000. Lottery ticket, basically. Just he could be the starting tight end in 2021 for the Giants. Evan Ingram's on a 1-year deal, and that could leave Caden Smith there. I do believe Kyle Rudolph ended up finally passing something as physical or whatever he needed to pass and is on the roster now, but Caden Smith could still end up being the guy moving forward. After that, we got the Dallas Cowboys. I believe this is the last one. Yes, it is. Dallas Cowboys, Zeke Elliott, 6 years, 15 million. You're not going to be able to get him right now because of his contract and just how rough he looked last year, if I'm putting it nicely. I'm a huge Zeke guy. He is going to bounce back. You can take my word for it because I talk to him on the phone every day, and he's working hard. He built up a ton more muscle this offseason, and he's ready to go. So buy Zeke, or not, don't buy Zeke. Hold on to Zeke and then trade him as soon as he takes off, because you don't want a running back on their second contract when you're going into a rebuild, or even if you're getting that, a year away from being out of it, you still don't want him on your roster. Trade him and get some good assets. After that, I'm going to lump these two together and end it. Noah Brown, Cedric Wilson. Noah Brown's 1 year, $1.1 million. Cedric Wilson's 1 year, $2.1 million. Both of them got a ton of talent in front of them in terms of Gallup, Cooper, and Lamb. And they've both shown that they can do something on an actual NFL field, and that's something that I value. They've played against good competition, and they've done well. So those are two guys I'm okay with holding on to, and instead of, just don't do anything with them. Hold on to them. They're going to be decent at some point in time in their career. Both of them are set to move out of Dallas next year. Dallas will probably re-sign one of them, but one of them is going to get a solid shot next season. That's all I got for this week, guys. It ran a little longer than I wanted to, but like I said, special video for you guys next week. I know you guys are going to enjoy it. Good luck on your 2021 chase for the ring. I am Jay Pounds. This is Dynasty Owner. We will catch you guys next week. Love you guys. I'm out of here.